I'm going to show you exactly how I wing a recipe. And today I'm going to make a scone. Last time I had a very delicious coconut vegan scone and I want to try to replicate that, but I don't have the same ingredients. So far I've got a master recipe. This is 125 grams of flour, 50 grams of sugar, and then we're gonna put 1¼ teaspoon of baking powder. Here is 1 teaspoon. And here is 1/4 teaspoon. Now, I always use the scale whenever I can because it is just more accurate. It's supposed to be 60 grams of butter. I put in 46 grams of coconut butter, and then I'm just going to put in some extra butter. So now it comes to 70 grams of fat. So 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I could totally use my hand and blend them together, but because I'm using coconut butter, I don't want it to melt on me, which is why I am using a blender for now. Pausing it. That's it. Oh, it smells so good already. All right, next we're going to mix all the wet ingredients together, and it's calling for 60 grams of heavy cream. So instead, I got 60 grams of coconut milk because it's pretty fatty. It's asking for half an egg, but I'm just gonna try it with 1 whole egg because I don't want to waste and have extra egg. As a rule of thumb, always chopsticks. We use chopsticks for everything. I don't know what it will taste like. I'm a little curious. It might be pretty terrible, who knows? And now I'm putting the dry ingredients in. So here I have the dry ingredients and wet ingredients all mixed together. I'm just gonna use the chopsticks and blend them together. This dough to me is quite wet. That extra egg might be a little too much. I think I'm going to add a little bit more flour into this. I'm adding 40 grams of flour, which is roughly 1/3 of what I had, which means I'm going to add another 1/3 teaspoon of baking powder. Otherwise, it's not going to rise the same. Yeah, this feels a lot better, but it's still really soft. I think because the coconut butter is like literally melting on me. It's way too soft. I want to put some fruit, and I don't have any fresh fruit right now. I just got some strawberry. I'm gonna chop it up a little bit. Okay, so now it's a little less chunky. And because it's frozen fruit, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on top. You know what? Now I'm wondering if I don't have enough sugar in mine, but whatever. It's okay if it is a little less sweet. This is 100% too soft. I'm going to stick this dough in the fridge. This dough has been in the fridge for about 10 minutes. I have preheated the oven to 400 Fahrenheit. I'm just gonna wing it. Moment of truth, I guess. Ooh, it's getting hard already. Wow, look at how hard it is. Awesome. Maybe I'll work on this for a little bit. Ooh, but the strawberry is making it really wet very quickly. I'm curious how this will go. My guess is that it might not fluff up as well as a normal scone. But next time, I'm going to try refrigerate the coconut butter so it's a little colder. I'm going to brush a little bit of coconut milk on top. In the oven it go. While waiting for the scone to be baked, I'm just going to make a little bit of icing for the top. I've got here 30 grams of icing sugar, and I'm just going to put a little bit of coconut milk inside. Like I had like a teaspoon of coconut milk, and this looks amazing. Look at that. Can you see? Just teensy bit of salt. A little bit saltiness to coconut, like all the dessert in Thailand. All right, here I have it. The scone has been inside for 18 minutes. I just want to double check to make sure it looks good. I think it's like almost done. Okay, look, it's actually pretty beautiful. Oh, the smell, it's amazing. By the way, there's a little thing. It's a toy from my daughter's kitchen toy. Oh, it looks so good. I'm going to take one and give it a try just to see if my experiment was successful. The flavor is so good. It's not flaky like a normal scone, but it's really good. Next time I'm going to try to cool the coconut butter down first so it's colder and see if that helps with the texture. Because right now it tastes like a muffin, but the flavor is like perfect. I want to try this again, this time making a completely vegan scone. So I have already mixing the flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. The only difference is instead of 1 and 2/3 teaspoons of baking powder, I add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And this, instead of a mixture of coconut butter and butter, I'm putting entirely coconut butter, which is 70 grams of coconut butter. And see how hard it is? Because I actually put it in the fridge until it's solid. Instead of 60 grams of coconut milk, I'm going to actually put 80 grams because I am not putting any egg. Okay. The coconut milk was chilled. Everything is chilled. That way it can be more of a crumble instead of the soft dough that I had before. Look how crumbly it is. That's what you want for a scone. I am adding in frozen strawberry dusted with flour just like last time and mixing this quickly because strawberry will melt. So I'm going to take this dough out and work it a tiny bit before I chill in the fridge again. I will cover this and then put it in the fridge. So this has been in the fridge for about an hour. Just gonna cut it up. I'm keeping it flaky like this. Brushing on coconut milk like the first one. All right, let's bake it. Look at this. Let's get some icing sugar on top. This scone seems to be darker than my last batch and also flatter. I think the egg is very important, and so was the butter. I'm curious what it will taste like, how the texture is. I think the texture is closer to what I want. I quite like this batch actually.